Hey, Rising Star PF2e here. I got another one for you today, and today it's more rules stuff. So, this is something a lot of people are confused about, and it's locks, doors, and what you should be doing to efficiently get through a locked object, and the difference between the options of force open, pick a lock, and striking the environment. Your first option is to force open. This is an athletic skill action. The first thing to understand about skill actions, especially as a GM, is what's called the sample tasks. If an object shares similar traits as described in this list, or the environment, or what you're trying to do, it falls along with the traits and ideas of this. This is where you're supposed to start with difficulty in relation to simple DCs. This is how Paizo in a GM determines where do we start with DC difficulty, and usually you don't want to go as far down in difficulty as you might allow the DC to go up, using difficulty adjustments on top of that simple DC. You do not do locked objects with the DC by level chart, usually, most of the time. Unless it's a magical lock, then you might start getting into that territory spell ranks and all of this. But usually, you don't want to do that, because if you do that to everything, you've created the Elder Scrolls Oblivion, and all the locks are wearing glass armor all of a sudden after the party levels, just like the bandits in that game. Something else to know about this is the object is broken other than on a critical success, and this leaves evidence and is usually extremely loud and obvious. The last thing to know is anything in the game that is a skill action like this is not a guarantee, and you either succeed or fail, losing actions with not a lot of middle ground. This means that the higher your level, usually the more desirable skill actions become, because they do not scale with you as you grow and stay as easy or as hard as they ever were in relation to the world. And this also means that the lower level you are, the less desirable a skill check generally is. Your next obvious answer to a locked object is to pick a lock. This does not use a simple DC or a DC by level. Instead, there are actual lock items and entries that describe the DC and required successes to open them. A common criticism is it takes too many actions and takes too many successes, but this was done intentionally because this is how you greatly improve your odds of not being detected or making it seem like you were never there to begin with. Your objective with lockpicking is not to be the fastest or most cost or action efficient means to get past an object. It's the most elegant strategic means to. Your next option is something that's skipped by basically everybody for whatever reason, is striking the object. In PF2e, we have extensive material and structured statistics that work just like sample tasks do. If a thing fits the general description, we usually start somewhere around here within reason, although this is a little bit more GM Fiat, I'd say, in this case than the other. You can, for instance, attack any wall in any room and usually create an alternative route, or attack any locked door in your way that has a crazy difficult high DC lock to pick. But the door itself in the middle, thematically, might have a crack that you can take advantage of. So long as an object is unattended, as in nothing is holding it, it's not in the hand of something, it's not being actively used, whatever that word might mean or be attended to, you can attack it. You can't say attack a magic ring on somebody's hand or an item they're using, but you can attack a door. And remember that force open's result is to break the object, usually resulting in it opening. The objective when you strike a door is to reduce it to its broken value, usually to get past the door, but not bring it beyond to absolute zero, which might destroy the doorway or the object entirely. You can think of force open as circumventing the lock at the frame, picking the lock to actually pick a lock, and striking to be exploiting the door physically through other means, usually more destructively. This also means, again, that you can potentially very easily destroy a door frame rather than just breaking it open. It's entirely GM Fiat, but if you fully make a doorway go beyond broken to zero, it could have disastrous results, just to the structure of the building you're in or otherwise. And my wall comment before, if you're underground, unless you have the ability to tunnel through stone and stuff, I wouldn't say in that case you could. I meant more in like a wooden structure or something along these lines. Bust through some drywall, that kind of idea. So, in gist, at a low level, you probably want to strike most doors so long as you can get over their hardness with two-handed weapons. As you raise in level, forcing open becomes about as equal in ability to get in that does at a later point with less chance of a disastrous effect. And when you raise even further, lockpicking becomes less action intensive and more strategic options open up to PCs. Stop doing DC by level, stop standing there at level 1 not being able to get the door open, let the barbarians smack that thing with rage. They are the greatest break the door open class in the whole game. Put crap locks on big, fat, hard doors, and put ridiculous magical locks on the most basic peasant door to actually get your playgroup to explore these systems. This works this way to provide marshals really cool scenes of busting in doors behind an escaping foe, and it properly paces the differences between forcing a way open, breaking a way through, and being smart, quiet, and patient. There's 3 different degrees of speed and utility, each with a pro and con, but this all requires knowing the system to use these tools efficiently.
The hippies all and scattered off to work their jobs at Microsoft. The lover died, the war was lost, and no one really cared enough.